Hey comic book friends, I'm Travis.
And I'm still Ethan.
And we're back with the second half.
Of week whenever.
Whatever it is, yes. First book we're going to talk about is Daredevil number 11. What'd you think?
I like this. This is a nice way to end up, to finish off the Omega Drive crossover. It was interesting to see how Daredevil convinces Punisher to not be like the Punisher, to not take that last step into killing people and be like him. So that was interesting. And I didn't know that Daredevil knew Punisher Castle before he was Punisher.
Yeah.
And that he could have stopped him, but he didn't.
For some reason didn't. Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Yeah. It was a nice way to close it up. And the Omega Drive doesn't actually get destroyed.
Right, so they're right back where they were before, really. Yeah. I mean, I like this crossover in that it was fun, but I don't know that it was needed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all for nothing. I mean, it kind of started in the last Daredevil, because we don't read Daredevil, so we didn't have it, him getting the drive. But, yeah, I don't know. As far as that goes, I mean, it began and ended all in the same, in the same book. So the stuff in between, even if you wouldn't have seen it, it kind of gets recapped enough. I think it's curious in this that when she disappears at the very end, she leaves 2 bullets behind to let him know that they were rubber bullets. That she wasn't, if she would have shot him, it wasn't actually into live ammo. To let him know that she really wasn't that evil. I mean, he's a good guy, so she wasn't going to kill off the good guys, kind of thing. I'm curious to see if we see her again.
I hope we do.
Yeah.
I liked her and Castle teaming up.
Well, if she's going to hang with Castle, Castle just guns everybody down. But maybe she's still willing to gun him down. She's just not willing to go to that extreme to gun down the bad guys. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Take out the syndicate and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the book because I enjoyed this whole thing. The 3 of them together are funny.
Yeah.
Punisher worked okay within these extremes. I
was wondering how well the team-up would work, but this is the most personality I've ever seen from the Punisher ever. Right.
Well, this is the most him being in the book doing something. Most of the time, the Punisher story, anyway, that Greg Rucka has been writing, it's been, the story's told around him, not with him. Yeah. And so this it was. So, but no, this is a fun all-around, as a whole, was a fun crossover and whatnot.
Yep.
I guess I don't have lots and lots to say about this issue
Not really.
in particular. But yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it's still got the same, Wade did the writing, but it's still the same artist, and so it looked good. And I think Mark Waid understands Daredevil as far as that goes, and what little bit Punisher in there worked and whatnot, so nobody felt wrong in it. Yeah, so what would you give it?
3.
Yep. 3 for me also.
Yep. Next up we have the 2nd issue of D.B. Cooper.
The Secret Life of D.B. Cooper. We actually talk at them.
Yeah,
as opposed to talking off them.
The Secret History of D.B. Cooper.
This is a really strange book. I really like it. I know it's not for everybody, but basically, we've got this character, D.B. Cooper, and he is a secret agent who is living in a psychic realm along with the real world. We find out in this issue that he
actually lives, he's existing in both
places at the same time.
He doesn't really need the drugs anymore.
Right. And I wonder if it's just artistic interpretation, or is he literally seeing things happening in both places at the same time. And like there's that one shot in there on one page where this giant fish-like creature is flying through the gut, which is the psychic realm he's in. And then the page on the other side, it's an airplane flying by, and they're both flying the same pattern and whatnot.
I think I think to some degree he's seeing it at the same time.
Both, right. He's still fighting things in the psychic world. He whacks a guy that's at the opera.
Yeah.
Kills him off. Head comes off at the arm.
He has a thing for chopping heads off.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna take care of somebody,
heads up. Yeah.
Well, if you have a katana,
makes sense.
It just begs to lop people's heads off.
Yeah.
But I'm really digging the comic. I think it's really cool. There's we're starting to see some more of his. We're starting to see some more of his history, and how he got where he's at. The fact that he's got he obviously has a beef with the regular agents, and the regular agents have a beef with him as far as is he really an agent or not.
I can't wait to find out who the teddy bear is.
Lee? Yeah, we know the teddy bear's name is Lee, don't we?
It is?
I don't know. Maybe I saw some previews. I don't know.
I didn't know that it was Lee, but I guess we are wrong though in the fact that we thought his old buddy who's helped dosing him up on drugs was the bear.
Yeah.
But obviously he's
not. So who is he?
My question, one of my biggest questions, I'm not saying there's something wrong with this and that it needs to be explained, but I'm thinking story-wise, why does DB Cooper in the alternate reality? Because all these other people we see are some sort of monsters.
Except for his daughter.
Yeah.
He did see his daughter there, and she hadn't changed either. Who we find out his daughter has been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Or disappeared. I mean, she's gone, and they assume
he was swinging with her outside, and they had to go answer the phone. And then when he came back, she was gone.
Yeah. Which ended up destroying their marriage and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it pretty much destroyed him. So.
I dig the art. The art's groovy in it.
Yeah,
it's funky.
Awesome.
Brian Achilio does a great job of drawing freaky monsters, which is what he ends up fighting in the gut a bunch and whatnot. So, if you like kind of Philip K. Dick kind of stories, which of course Ethan's not familiar with him at all, kind of strange, lack of grasp on reality kind of a story. This is a fun book and a book for you. There's always at the end of the book, there's always like this mocked up.
There's these reports.
That are sent.
Studying the gut.
The gut, right?
I don't know. They're all blacked out on the important parts, and whenever they get
they've been censored, right? They redacted some of the information, and there's always a sound file at the end, and you can go online and type in that email address, and it gives you a sound file.
And the last one sounded weird, like an electrical feedback or something. This one was really creepy. It sounded like people talking or screaming, and there was still those
airplanes and who knows what else. So you should check that out. If you follow me on my Twitter feed at all, the _gaunt_man. I just tweeted what the address is just a little while ago from when I'm recording this, which will probably be days from now. But at any rate. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's another fun little added thing to listen to that while you're reading the book and whatnot, and go, I wonder what this is.
Yeah.
Anyway, pretty cool. What would you rank this book?
4.
Yep, I rated it 4 too. Like I said, probably not for everybody, but right in what I like.
Right. Yeah. Right in what we consider awesome land.
Yep. Yep, strange stuff there. Anyway, next up we're going to talk about the 6 Gun number 21.
Well. Really? 21 already?
Yep.
Wow. Well, as an example, they always say 10 flies when you're having fun. This comic has yet to disappoint me. Ever. Which is really saying something, because there's always some issue or something that I'm always just like,
nitpick, right? Their hair's out of place, or
yeah, exactly.
The colors aren't quite right.
Not the point though. In this one, because Becky was right there for the explosion. She can't hear anything, and they don't really discuss that. But they show that at the beginning because
she's bleeding from her ears.
Still bleeding. So, and she can't hear anything. So it's pretty much her going through. I never realized that Becky was this awesome, but
she's a serious badass in this book.
She just goes through and she shoots the entire. I mean, there's like one person she doesn't shoot, and everybody else who she doesn't shoot gets killed somewhere or another because either Drake shoots them or like when the place collapses, it collapses on them. But I don't know. But Becky goes through and she shoots everybody, and obviously she's learning how to use the gun a little bit more, and she's starting to rely on it more because I mean you see her relying on it for its foretelling in some places, and in other places she actually creates a lookalike of herself.
Right, an illusion.
And then she falls back around and shoots everybody from behind.
Anyway, yeah. Becky in this is a total badass. I've always thought she's pretty cool anyway, but in this she is a total badass. She figures out where Drake Sinclair is being held kidnapped at.
Captive,
and she goes in, she's going to get him back. Like Ethan said, the entire issue, there's not a single word spoken in the entire issue. Well, they speak, but you don't hear anything, so the entire issue is silent. There's no words written anywhere in the book. It's entirely pictures, awesome. Which is them, I guess, paying tribute also to a G.I. Joe issue that was all silent too. And maybe it was G.I. Joe 21. I don't know that for sure, but that's what the internet has told me, is that it pays tribute to that. I could care less whether it's paying tribute to anything or not. It really comes across as cool.
They find another vault to the stupid
right, the Knights of Solomon. The Knights of Solomon have their own vault that if you have all the guns, you can open up the vault and change the world to how you want it to be, or
you can unleash whatever's in there. Right. And so it seems like to me that maybe it's just me because Six Gun has a lot of monsters in it anyway, but seriously, wow, that's a monster kind of monsters. Each vault has one. So far from what we've seen, because I don't know, I don't really count General Humes as a monster. I think that's just the vault that he was going to. I mean, he is a monster, don't get me wrong, but a monster in that sense, like giant creature, Godzilla, King Kong monster. Because this one had whatever weird tentacly electrical beastie thingy.
Yeah, I don't know if it was electrical.
Oh, not electrical, sorry, it's just a luminescent, so I have to be electrical. Whatever weird tentacly beast thing that we never really got to saw. And then the other one, and that's what makes me think it's part of the vault, because we don't really get to see the base of it, and we never really got to even see the Thunderbird. And the Thunderbird, as they're going to the vault, attacks Humes' little army. So I think that each vault has some sort of guardian or whatever you want to call it. They have some sort of something with them.
But yeah, there's some interesting
suggestions in this. And the leader of this group gets away, of course.
He's the only one, though.
Yeah, the only one, seriously. No.
The Knights of Sons of Solomon, or whatever they call themselves, are.
I thought the Knights of Solomon were the holy guys.
No, that's the Abraham. They were Abraham. Yeah. Those are the supposed good guys. There's the Abraham.
Yeah, good
not Solomon.
We're going to keep you here forever.
But there's some interesting shots in here, like the one with the mosaic of the guy with the sword, and the other sword. He almost looks like Sinclair, almost.
Yeah.
And it.
And Becky's like, what?
Yeah, they're shrugging at each other and whatnot. But yeah, it was
Now we know
it was so. I mean, this whole thing was just all action and all cool all the way through. Yeah, I mean, it just was. Her tapping into the gun, and her saving Drake from being tortured. Drake getting his guns back, getting his hat back on, giving the torturer a good look, and I'm assuming the torturer went under.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. It was. I mean, there didn't need to be a word in the thing. It was absolutely.
Nope. Good. It was pretty awesome.
Solidifying for me that Becky is one of the top badass heroes in comics right now.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And definitely, if I get to another con that Brian Hurt is at, she's definitely going to be somebody I'm getting a con sketch of.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I mean, she was kind of anyways, but this just 100% sold it for sure.
Considering our last.
So what would you give this book?
Yeah, I'd give it a 5.
I give it a 5 also.
It's her first 5. I'm so proud.
Oh yeah, and it's a 6 gun.
Yeah,
big shocker there.
See that coming.
Yeah, but anyway, awesome book. Didn't need to be a word in it. I loved every second of it, and I've looked over it 5 or 6 times already.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's next?
Next up we have Teen Titans issue 8.
Okay, what are you gonna tell me about it?
It sucks.
Okay.
Everybody looks on the cover looks weird. It makes absolutely no sense, and I don't really like it. Plus, it's not written very well, and the heroes and their powers make no sense. Plus, the trade from the last story didn't really make sense because it shows up. The last one ends with Harvest showing up, and then suddenly they're fighting. What's her face? Whoever the lady with the womb or whatever it is. That creeper.
What do you mean the heroes and their powers don't make sense?
They're just not.
So Kid Flash going fast isn't doesn't make sense?
No, not the heroes. Sorry, the heroes. I said heroes. No, sorry, I'm looking at the cover. I'm processing heroes. No, the villains. Their powers are explained weird.
Okay.
Like the leash. I mean, him out of all of them makes sense to some degree, but Harvest and the lady, whatever her name is, I mean, she's pretty much Scarecrow without the gas and single target at one time. And she controls that little bit of reality. Is that just she goes around and wherever she goes, there's that little bit of reality she controls? Or have they designed some sort of reality she controls? It doesn't make any sense.
I didn't have an issue with that because I don't need the power explained to me completely. I just don't care at this point. I've dropped this title. I mean, I've dropped this title.
Oh, you actually dropped it? Good.
Yeah, I quit ordering it, but because I order 2 months in advance, of course I get a couple issues after I've dropped it. I read it, but I just didn't care because I haven't cared about these characters in quite some time.
I haven't cared about these characters since the first issue.
Whatever. There are characters in it I like, but I don't like them enough. I don't like them enough to care. I don't care what this whole culling thing that's going on and whatnot. It just doesn't really matter a whole lot to me. I'm not even going to rate the book because at this point I'm just no, it wouldn't be a 0. It's not.
It would be a 0 for me.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think it's stinky. I just don't care. I lost interest in the book. I read it because I paid for it, and that's about as good as it gets for me.
Well, 2 firsts in 1 episode. The first 5-star and the quickest comic review we've ever done ever.
Wow, that was quick. You talked for quite a while.
Oh yes, so long.
Anyway, like I said, it doesn't interest me. So yeah.
Okay, on a brighter, hopefully better note, what's next?
Okay, next we're going to talk about Thunder Agents, number 6 of 6 of this second volume. Last one.
I was happy in some ways with this conclusion, in other ways, not.
So what were you happy about with the conclusion?
I was happy the way that Tony says goodbye to What's-Her-Face. I was happy with the way that she quit, and I thought it was cool how everybody gets to go back. There we go. Gets to go back to their family and make or whatever.
Try to live a normal life.
They gotta make things right compared to whatever hole they were in when Thunder picked them up. That was nice.
What were you unhappy with?
It wasn't so much that I was unhappy with it. It just I didn't get it. And what I didn't get is Tony shows up with a mental helmet, right? And he influences What's-His-Face to do something.
The person who's in charge.
But I didn't get what he influenced him to do. And if he was influencing, what did he do? And how come he ends up something bad happening to him for What's-Her-Face to get the helmet?
Because what happened with the whole helmet thing and Tony's dead. Tony's dead. Remember? Last issue, he gets killed by the Bird Lady. The Bird Lady kills him. So before that all happened, that was back in time, he went in, put the helmet on, and made him do 2 things. Made him, 1, not throw What's-Her-Face in jail at the end when this whole thing's done, and 2, give her the helmet so she's in control of that helmet. No one else has possession of the helmet. So what happens is at the end of the thing, she cleans everything up. She shoots the Bird Lady while she's flying around, snipers her, which is awesome because, of course, the Bird Lady's a complete traitor. Shoots the 2 handlers, her 2 handlers, blows up all the other No-Mans, are all dead, all the bodies, everything is all blown up.
Which is what he wanted.
Right, he wanted to be done. He wanted it to be done. This way he is done. He can never exist again. He can finally shut it all down. The 2 people who are left alive get to go and live their lives. They're supposedly dead also. She covers all it up. She turns herself in figuring, because she can't run forever, she figures. She can't run forever. So she turns herself in there in Sri Lanka, but she turns herself in Sri Lanka because she figures the Sri Lankan government will hang on to her for a really long time. So she'll sit in their prison before America and the UN ever gets a hold of her. And that's when she's suddenly surprised at the fact is, oh no, we're not going to arrest you. We're here to give you this present. Good luck, thank you very much. That's what it was in the past, Tony set that part up. To make sure nothing bad was going to happen. That's how come. Because Tony was killed in the last issue. He gets, the Bird Lady kills him.
Shoots him in the back of the head.
Right. So she comes out of the whole thing, not being part of the Thunder Agency, but not being arrested, and she's got this uber powerful, she has the
helmet.
The helmet at the end.
Which is, the scariest
Now,
stuff.
at the end of this, there's also the last 2 issues have had these little backup things of the undersea agent thing, which I thought was kind of an interesting story, but it was just kind of a throwaway kind of a thing because the whole thing's done.
Over,
and it's like, it shows him do this one mission, how tough. He was a cool-looking character, cool idea, but are they ever going to do anything with him? It felt like it was enough thought, like, oh, we're going to do this cool story, it might be kind of cool, and then we kind of ran out of room, or we don't know what to do with it.
I didn't feel like it was executed in a cool way. Like the last Justice League, they, at the end of their run, because it's going to hit the new 52, so everything is going to restart.
Right.
All those characters in the very last issue, there was like story, and they had panels talking about the good times that they had.
Right.
And I'm assuming, because it seemed like that's what it was going to be, those would have been stories they would have done had that not happened, but they can't because it New 52.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I mean, it was fine. It would have been an interesting character. It would have been cool to see more of that character and whatnot, and how he works in the reality and whatnot. I was really pleased with this. I was pleased with the way this comic ended as a whole. It was a great tie-in.
I'm happy with it too.
I thought it was really interesting, ending to it, and how she ended up coming on top of the whole thing and whatnot, and that was really cool. Kind of a Machiavellian twist on everything and whatnot. But once again, I'll say, if you didn't pick up the first volume that Nick Spencer wrote, this volume I can't imagine is very enjoyable.
Yeah, it won't make any sense.
Because there's huge parts of it that really rely on the story from the last time.
Like, you'd never know that Toby is a spider sleeper.
Right, that he's like a double, triple, quadruple, God knows how many agent kind of thing.
Well, he's a sleeper agent, and who's created another personality, so you go in and infiltrate Thunder.
Right.
But then that personality took over because...
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, I said I think it's great. I think the reason it ended up being 2 volumes is because they knew the relaunch was coming, and that's why they split it the way they did. Otherwise, I think it would have been all one big volume. So I really think that if you picked up this in the singles and you weren't happy with it, or you're confused and whatnot, go pick up the trade of the first one. I think you'll really enjoy it, and it'll make this one really good too. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the heck out of the ending of it. I love the fact that they won.
Yep, if they're going to...
Despite the devastation that was there, they won.
I am as happy with this ending as I was as happy with the written wise and how good it was and how they did it as the last Doom Patrol run ending. And I'm always comparing stuff to Doom Patrol, and usually it's fairly good, so... And I wasn't happy at all that Doom Patrol is ending, but the way they ended it, they did a good job.
That was fun. That was fun, yeah.
It felt like they did good to me.
So
and I like this.
What would you rate this?
I'd give it a strong 4.
Yep, I give it 4 out of 5. Good stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so we got one more comic that we're going to review, and actually this is a, well, go ahead.
Avenging Spider-Man, issue 7.
Yeah, this is a rarity for us. Because we're actually reviewing this basically, it came out last week?
Yeah.
I think is when it came out. I used to do, if anybody who's watched the channel for a while, I used to do Not on the Poll, where I talk about comics I picked up that are on part of my poll list and whatnot. I don't pick up enough books here lately to really do those Not on the Polls without just being a book that I would do. I can't remember exactly why we started picking up the Avenging Spider-Man. I think I picked it up because we knew
that
we knew it was going to be
and you decided that
part of the Omega Drive.
So you got some of the other Spider-Man to see what it was like. And then that was...
Anyway, so this is on my poll. This is on my poll list now because I've been getting a real kick out of it. This issue with She-Hulk, this is just a good fun comic.
It's
just
great.
hilarious.
It's a good comic.
I don't punch kittens.
I don't punch kittens.
That's gonna be my new catchphrase for everything. I don't punch
I
kittens.
don't punch kittens.
Anytime somebody asks me just what I don't want to do, that's gonna be my answer. Is I don't punch kittens. I miss comics. They're fun. This comic feels fun to me. It's usually single issues. It seems to be most of the time the story is a one and done kind of a story. Something happens, there's some excitement, there's some bashing and crashing, and lots of jokes and whatnot, and it's just funny. As a matter of fact, even the introductions Marvel does at the beginning of the book, this one of course it's a couple pages in, they always do introductions. This is Spider-Man, he was bitten by radioactive blah blah blah, and now he's part of the Avengers, which is a movie coming out. And then it introduces their character. There's always funny stuff in it. And of course, this one they have the cats.
This time they have the cats. They have the cats. Their description is along the lines of why they started being worshipped in Egypt. A few other trades they could have. They might have been able
to if
some Europeans hadn't killed them because black cats, witches,
right?
their ninth life was a cat, which cats have nine lives. Another point. Yeah.
Now they're internet sensation. Took over the internet.
And they have become known as kitty cats.
Kitty cats, yes.
And yeah, I love this. I love this issue because I love when Bess. Yeah, when Bess shows up and decides that She-Hulk is her champion and she's gonna do good here. She-Hulk's like, oh no, that's okay. And Spider-Man goes and gets the
cowhead.
The cowhead. Because he's a champion of the mother of all the gods.
Right.
So Bess is like, really? You're here? So you're doing this? And Spider-Man's like, yeah. And that makes sense to me because that's just really something. I mean, it's not like I have tons of experience with Peter Parker. In fact, the only experience with Peter Parker I have is what was on TV, but not the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff. I was watching it back when it was like Spider-Man reruns, obviously. I'm not nearly that old. Reruns of Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends and the others. Spider-Man that they had on Disney back before, yeah. Back when it was actually still Toon Disney. So, there's that. And, yes, that's definitely something I can see him doing. And I love it when she's holding up the cat because she's being bombarded by a cat. And the cat makes a noise, and the noise is lulz.
Lulz, yep.
Lulz, like L-O-L-Z. And I was just like, I get it!
That's hilarious.
That was funny. That was really funny.
I represent all of beefdom.
Yeah.
When he's wearing the cow head.
Yeah.
It was just all around funny.
Yeah.
He pulls the fake necklace off of her and says, "Be gone!"
Yeah.
It's a fake.
It's a fake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was going to be so easy. It's just funny. I mean, like I said, I'm going to keep getting... I put this comic on my poll just because it's a fun comic. I read it, I laugh all the way through it. And it's nice to occasionally have a comic that doesn't have these serious, gritty storylines and whatnot. And it was just funny. And you can see him teamed up with somebody different just by each different time and whatnot. So that's been fun too to see the other heroes that are in the Marvel universe. Since how we don't collect a lot of Marvel.
Don't read Marvel at all.
Don't read a lot of Marvel stuff, and so
it's nice because I get to figure out how all of. In fact, it was nice because they've had Red Hulk and She-Hulk in here now, and I was always they're going and I was always curious how the whole other Hulks thing worked. So it was nice that they explained this. So this makes sense because she got blood transfusion, because I'm sure you all already know this, but blood transfusion from her cousin, Bruce Banner. So that makes sense because, you know, he has the hulky gamma radiation bloody thing.
Right.
And, yeah. And then Rolk, as they call him.
Red Hulk.
Yeah, Red Hulk is atoning for his crimes for chasing the actual Hulk because he teams up with some sort of evil villain. And then he himself gets blessed with gamma radiation and becomes Red Hulk.
In the process of trying to go after the Hulk, right. Yep. So what would you give this?
Yeah, I'd give this all 3. Strong, solid 3.
Yeah. 3 verging on 4 for me just because it was a fun, good laugh.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still quoting lines from it, so obviously it must have been amusing, at least for that. And that's this week's worth of comics.
Yep.
Here later on this week, I'll get 3 weeks worth of comics. So we'll have plenty of comics to read and lots more to review. Hopefully we're going to make some other different videos and whatnot. Let us know if you like this format or don't like this format. Think me and Ethan should be talking about something different or talking about it in a different way. We've been doing our own discussing today about what we think we should be doing or shouldn't be doing, if we should just continue with this or people getting bored with it or we need to come up with something different. Anyway, let us know what you think. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe if you want. Like I said, I'll subscribe back if you're putting out videos too. That's cool. That's why we're here. I like to see what other people have to say. Like, comment, dislike if you dislike even.
If you do dislike, make sure to tell us why.
Yeah, please. If you're going to hit dislike, you know, is it because we're bad-mouthing Hal Jordan all the time? Is that why you dislike the video or whatever? Of course, we didn't bad-mouth him lately. But anyway, if those are the cases and you're disliking it, just let us know because we're just curious, you know. Anyway, have a good one.